Hi, welcome back. I am back with some readings for the new moon in Scorpio. I'm a little surprised myself. I kept seeing a date of January 7th, shortly after I did the original deck reveal on this channel and created this channel. This is all just happening very quickly, but I'm following my intuition, I'm following my impulses and my guides. And with that, and with the energies that are happening right now, I was compelled to do a reading for New Moon in Scorpio. The New Moon in Scorpio is coming up, but this is also, if you happen to stumble across it, when you stumble across it, please do tune in, tap into it, and consider it a timeless reading. The way I've decided to do this reading, because I tend to be more energetic than I am astrological or I will take into account astrology, and I will read into different I can channel in different things that way, but I'm feeling more than ever what I wanted to create here is a channel where we are choosing vibrationally. And if you are led to stumble across this channel, if you happen to come across and you see something here that that is inviting you in, then by all means tune into the deeper side of what you're hearing yourself, because I may be a conduit to some of these messages, but ultimately my goal and my aim always is to help everyone access that which we all have access to. So with that, what I've done is I've done the reading a little backwards. So these 4 cards that you see here were pulled at the very end of each stack that I pulled with the other cards. And what I asked for was that these visually and energetically symbolize the overall arc or message of, containing the other cards that I'd pulled for them. Those have also been read, and you can see me shuffling and pulling those afterward. But for now, I'm going to just talk a little bit about the new moon. I'm going to quiet the energy here, and then just invite you to close your eyes, open them, see which one of these cards speaks to you, and then you can skip ahead to the timestamp for it. And I also want you to play with this. If you feel that you have a question about someone else or for someone else, or you want to guide someone else, or if it's about, if you're split between 2 things and you feel that you want 2 messages, feel free to explore that way. But for the most part, just impulsively follow and go with your first impulse with whichever card you have, and see truly if that isn't a message for you right now. And again, I'll explain a little bit more as I'm channeling. The way I work is I will give specifics, but it is open to a bigger interpretation, and the idea is that you connect the dots, and that that this is just perhaps even the missing link to what you need to know for your situation. And I want you to feel that you've been involved in, choosing this and finding this channel here, and finding the message that you needed to hear right now in this moment. So for the new moon in Scorpio, Scorpio is a sign of death and rebirth, and it's a very occult, dark sign, to do with a lot of magic. Anything especially suggests, like around Scorpio, suggests rebirth. And I want you to think right now about this new moon in Scorpio coming up on the 27th and 28th, depending on where you are in the world, about that kind of energy. This is that Scorpio energy with the birth, the death, and the rebirth paradigm. And in that, just understand that it can be deep and transforming, but it doesn't need to be scary. I mean, this card here from Moonology, it does say, new moon in Scorpio, work through your fears. I want to suggest that you look at fears the way I do, and that is just simply resistance, anything that we have resistance to. All right, enough talk for now. I'm going to tune in. I'd like you guys to do the same. And don't think, just enjoy. Hi, welcome back. And if you're tuning in here to this reading, you are tapped into this energy of this card. It is actually the card of the emerald, and I'll get into that in a moment, but perhaps you chose it for its color, for its symbol. I tried to cover up the card sign so that it was a little bit more of an intuitive draw for you. Anyhow, this is the new moon in Scorpio, and this is the zodiac sign symbolizing death and rebirth and transformation. Scorpio is also known for its deep emotional undercurrents, for its sexuality, and for its intense passion. It's a time to get quiet during this new moon phase, and in that solitude, you can tap into and ponder your life in the energy of this Scorpio new moon, which is symbolic of such deep change and transformation. It's inviting us to be vulnerable and to just be in that space of ambiguity and the unknown, and to tap into our raw feelings, into that intense undercurrent, and uncover our truth in this moment, however it shows up. After the reading, as you continue to digest it and as you re-enter back into your life, the idea is to apply these messages from spirit, and you can anchor into whatever spoke to you and pick a theme to highlight, and perhaps ask to become more aware of cladons that are happening specific and personal to you in your life. So emerald here, the message here says calm your mind, body, and soul, and it's number 30. 30 is a 3 card. It's a triad. It's the whole. It's the beginning, the middle, and the end. Mind, body, and spirit. Religiously or biblically, it's the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. It's the Trinity. 3 is known, as that magic number. It's the life path or the destiny number. And when I look at this card, I'm also seeing, and the idea that, it's but a drop, like we're but a drop in the ocean, but we are a part of something so much bigger. And regarding emerald as a color, it is the color that represents luck. It depicts freshness and renewal. It's a shade of green that represents balance and harmony. And as a stone, it embodies compassion and patience. It also brings clarity, brings everything into focus. It's the way I'm just reading from this card. If you can use this color to help you release any frustrations and overcome any fears, the emerald's rays, really have the power to help you when you wish to mend a broken heart or find more peace and harmony in a volatile or aggressive or challenging situation. And it will help you, as it says, calm your mind, body, and soul. It will help shift the energy into something more balanced, calm, and harmonious. It'll help you in that regard with your self-esteem, and to help you attract in abundance. Oh, and as a birthstone, this is the month of May. The way I've set up the reading is I've picked from different oracle cards, and the first one that I'm going to turn over here is from Journey of Love. And the paintings are all by Rassouli, the woman who has put together this deck. It's interesting how now again with the Trinity, she is channeling the message, and she has asked a poet to write to it, and so to speak to it that way, and an artist by the name of Rassouli to draw the paintings surrounding it. And the painting, oh, isn't that interesting? And the painting that we get here, it's the one that she's actually used for the entire deck, and for the deck of cards, she has entitled it Self-Initiation. And I will look it up later in the book to find out what the painting title is. I'm always curious to that. And look at, there's the 12, there's the 1 plus 2, there's the 3 again. And so when I look at this picture right here, if I'm remembering correctly, this is about that wave of love that is already deep within, and it's getting swept into that current. Look at this card. It is like an awakened reunion. You know, see how you are surrounded with rays of warmth, of love, of protection, and all things good. The light and the divine energy depicted here, it's that of which you are drawing forth and forward into yourself. This is a card about recognizing your own divine essence. And it's about not discounting the self or yourself. That understanding that while there are many teachers that will appear on your path, that that divine spark within you is already connected to global consciousness. It's plugged into the eternal source. So it's time to recognize that life is also your teacher, and that there is access to everything that you need in that alignment within you when you are connected to the divine. Okay, so that's the oracle message. Let me get to the book to read the poem or the affirmation for this card. And again, it's Alana Fairchild. I don't know if I said her name earlier, and she's the creator of this deck. And this painting for number 12 is called Sensation of Crimson. And the poem, or okay, this is a short one, this is more of an affirmation, is by Richard Cohn. How easy to love, the words flow when it is right. I dare not tell you. I love it. I love it that it's so much still in the energy of this flow, of this droplet in between everything. All right, and so we have the card here is from, which deck is this? This is the Ascended Masters deck, and it's a Doreen Virtue deck. I don't even know if they make this deck anymore. And we have, oh, that's interesting. I have not picked this in, I don't even remember since when. So the message here is to open your heart to love. And the Ascended Master is Jesus. Now, I feel like this is all about accessing access to your gateway, the gateway to everything that you wish. It starts with opening your heart. And it's basically Jesus's message of love and forgiveness. And I'm not speaking for the religious perspective here, but I'm speaking for the message of Jesus as we know him in history, even as if you want to think of it as the archetype, symbol, as a symbol to demonstrate the giving and receiving of love, and as a symbol in knowing the power of love and forgiveness, especially to those who have hurt you. If there's a way to forgive them so that you have access to your abundance and to your riches, this is what I'm hearing right now. Forgiveness so that you have access to your abundance and to your riches. This is interesting given the oracle message above, because Jesus means to deliver and to rescue. And when you think of it symbolically, I don't want to get into it too much symbolically, or definitely not religiously, but I always just feel like everything is just kind of unfolding perfectly that way. All right, so these are the actual tarot cards. I'm gonna so the way I do it is I pick one, I usually get a clarifier, and then I always look at the bottom of the deck. So there are usually three, I mean minimum, but sometimes a card will get spit out or drop off, or sometimes there's more than three. For this reading, when I just pulled, it was just three. So let me just see what they are. I pulled them this way, so we're going to reveal them this way, and I'm going to reveal them one at a time so that I can tap in specific to the messages just of the card. So this is the Queen of Cups, but it is in reverse, and I do read reversals. The Queen of Cups, this is really interesting because to me, the Suit of Cups, it's emotions. It's the emotional level of consciousness. It is your emotional or initial reactions to life, and then your responses. Upright, this queen is, well, in the upright position, she's like the emotional reflector. The court cards bring in the level of mastery. We have the page and the prince, and then the queen and the king. And the queen, well, first of all, the cups, it's emotional mastery of some sort. And the queen, as the emotional reflector, she's self-reflection. She's mastery of an emotional integrity. In other words, she's representative of that emotional balance and that commitment to be true. Excuse me, I'm going to grab a glass of water here. Sorry, I have a tickle in my throat, which we can pay attention to. In other words, she is representative of the saying, to thine own self be true. It's the ability to stay grounded when you're dealing with emotions. There's a need here to gain emotional equilibrium, especially since it's upside down. This is a very intense card because water is the most feminine of all the suits, and when it's in reversed, and because we're in the new moon in Scorpio energy, which it'll naturally enhance that aggressive or agitation or frustration in this reversal or in this reversed card. So maybe right now you're feeling hypersensitive, you're feeling blocked creatively. You may be attracting emotional vampires, or you might be taking on that energy yourself. You might find yourself more prone to being moody or withdrawn. There's an oblivious quality when this card comes up reversed. It's that checked out, when someone is just oblivious to something, they're shirking their responsibilities or the needs of others, or they're oblivious to time, oblivious or insensitive to what is happening around them or with others. And that's the darkness or the shadow side rearing from Scorpio. These are emotional changes, within that sense of oblivion, being dishonest, having ambivalent feelings, being moody or self-centered. And when I see this card in reverse, I like to see which card follows, because the fact that it shows up, you need to know that there's the potential for all the positive blessings as it's seen in its upright. And so they're all actually available to you. But in this moment, something is blocking it. You're being blocked, or you are getting in your own way about it. So this is about being true to your feelings, being true to yourself. And it's the authenticity of emotions, which means allowing emotions to flow through us. And I'm also getting, don't suppress your emotions or repress them. So I have a bunch of questions coming through. Ask yourself, do I recognize and celebrate my emotional truth? Can I accept the depth of my emotions? Do I recognize my ability to attract and to enchant those around me? Where am I being dishonest? Where have I checked out? Or how do I protect myself emotionally? Which actions do I turn to in stressful situations? How am I expressing my emotions? How am I reacting? There's a lot of, action and reaction here. And all right, I want to see what's next here. Now I'm very curious. Okay, so we get, the next card is the Nine of Wands. And yes, this is the suit of wands. So this is traditionally associated with the element of fire. It represents that spiritual level of consciousness. Fire, think of fire. It's hot. It is unpredictable. You cook it for food or you can burn something down. So the energy of it can be nourishing or it can destroy. It is, again, very similar to Scorpio's energy, to having that Scorpio stinger. Wands are also associated with spirituality and with self-development. And so it's development through creativity, through expansion. Again, very similar to the qualities represented in the Queen of Cups, because it's this primal energy and ambition. And this is the expansion and the spiritual revitalization and this, and the self-development. Because the Nine of Wands, it's strength. It's strength of vision and following, it's following that known within. And given that it just came after the Queen of Cups reversed, I am hearing what it's saying now is to tap into that strength of your perception or your intuition. So tell yourself the best story that enhances the situation and that takes you, to the next level. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure you can see this card. Stand back from a different, you see, he's got this, stand back and get a different perspective. See the gift in the challenge that is appearing in front of you. And whatever appears in front of you, it might feel like it's there to rock you, but it's there to elevate you. So there's this spiritual power, there's a potency to this card, there's a force that is now available. And this is independence. It's this independence that's coming from this inner wisdom, inner tapping in, and it's tapping into the wisdom of experience. It's discipline. It's dedication. It's dedication or discipline, to a project or purpose or person, or to a cause, or to a belief, or possibly to a philosophy. And the number 9 is spiritual love. It's divine awakening and enlightenment. 9 is three times. 9 is the number of completion and resolution. So I want to take a look at the bottom of the deck, but sometime, in the next 9 weeks, 9 months, you're going to have access to unlimited strength. And that strength is going to give you everything that you need to manifest your visions if you are tapped into it. So be sure to attract helpful insights. And I keep getting this I'm getting like a tuning fork, like be selective in your perceptions of what's really occurring. So in other words, watch for how you're interpreting situations. If you don't like what appears to be, step back, pause, turn the other cheek, as Jesus would do, and see if you can't get a different perspective of it. because I think that that's what the key is. Let me see now. So the bottom of the deck energy is, oh my God, okay, so this is perfect. It's the Chariot. So I do readings with, the first card, a card for clarity, and then I always look at the bottom of the deck because that to me is the energy that's informing the oomph, of what's possible, right here in front of you. And that oomph that's possible right now, I mean, you're getting, you're getting the major arcana card of the Chariot, and it's upright. This is an indication of change, of putting something into motion, perhaps creatively, perhaps romantically, maybe personally, financially, within your family, familially. I mean, this is a time of movement, of moving forward. The Chariot ushers you into the next phase. It is so perfect because the nine is completion in the sense that it is wrapping it up. It's time to wrap things up. So this is a message to go forth, or, yes, to go forth, but you have the Chariot pulling you forth. And this is the same thing of being tapped in and being pulled or created into, that energy. The Chariot is also, it's the correct use of our will. So it's not just having the clarity of intention, but it's being, again, very clear of where you're coming from and to what gain and to what purpose you are wishing something. So there is a desire here to, and again, I keep getting this, express oneself fully, to be in your full expression without defenses, without any roles or the need to justify, which is what this is. It's, the Queen of Cups reversed. That's what that is. I mean, look at this Chariot. Just remember the awesome responsibility of being this woman, because she makes it look easy, but these are beasts that are pulling her in opposite directions, and she needs to be truly, in this strength, and in this understanding and realization of who she is and where she is going in order to forge forward, confidently. Like, she's got this confidence, but the confidence is coming from the attachment, or the attachment to the higher self, or the alignment, that constant contact with, one's higher self, and a pureness of purpose. Yeah, I am also getting some other messages. I feel also with the Chariot, it's a faith in your own abilities. It's a confidence, and it's an optimism. It's your identity in the world, or, if you mask it, it's that sense of direction, and you're depending on your own abilities to move you instinctively through these challenges. And in order to have that self-reliance, you best be tapped into, the power or the strength of your higher self, and invite the wisdom and the compassion, and see through the eyes of, one of the Ascendant Masters, Jesus. Again, I'm saying all this, if any of this is, it's not meant to be literal, it's meant to be as a story, symbolic archetypes, which will help you understand where you are in the story of your life, and how you can forge forward and create a new chapter. So this is from Wisdom of the Oracle, and she's a Canadian psychic and medium, Colette Baron Reed. So we get the message of tribe. That's really interesting. So this is the card of finding like-minded others. You know, beyond a community per se message, I feel like this is asking something more specific, and that's because of the other cards in this reading. If you're in this energy of the emerald and you picked this energy, tribe is saying to be true to who you are, to choose your role and to be true to it. Don't try and make everyone like you or be all things to all people. Begin with the clarity of who you are, and from there you're going to find your place and you're going to speak your truth more powerfully than you'll ever have known before. And it's from this place that you're going to find your tribe. You're going to find your tribe through this community, and you're going to feel the support and love, and you're going to be able to access that grace within you because you're clear and there's no dishonesty present in your foundation. That's the warning card here with the Queen of Cups reverse, the potential for dishonesty. And you're no longer going to feel the need to dim your light or hide amongst the crowd because your acceptance has come from within. You will have found your tribe. Your self-recognition is going to ignite the purest and the most potent form of self-love. And this is what you will bring out into the world. Yeah, this is amazing. And so from the Winged Enchantment, I like animal oracle. I like animal decks and oracle, but I decided to go with the Winged Enchantment oracle deck. And from that, oh, beautiful. We get the Swan. So when I think about a swan, I think about grace and beauty. And beyond that, the messages from this animal represent that graceful flow in your life. It's attracting that and going with the flow, the water, the cups, the drop in the pond, or the drop in the ocean, rather. I'm going to read the message from Swan because so Swan says here, and I'm reading now from the book, I am Swan, the poet and the muse. I am strength in beauty, I am fortitude of love, and the undying inspiration of the soul. I am great symphonies and priceless art. I am the harmony of an expressive way of life. You need to soften the harshness around your world and allow sweeter tides to flow in. I am the ideal of aesthetic accomplishment and will call forth the finest creations from the human soul. This is your time to let the good life unfold. Let the music play. Allow the books to pile up. Savor each brush stroke of your next fantastic whim. I am peaceful escape when the world piles up on you. I will reflect your inner elegance for you to see. There are dark corners that need the light. There is a shadow that needs refinement. There are creative impulses yearning for fruition. And close your eyes for a moment as you take a look at this. I'm going to read, continue reading from the book. There's the 4-line affirmation. You are ordering the chaos. You are heightening the senses. You are unfolding grace. You are Swan. Oh, I love it. So I've picked that deck. They're short messages. That's why I actually read specifically straight from the book. And I'm just thematically, I didn't want to pause when I was reading, but it's so much of what I was saying about the harmony, about, calming yourself, about this self-initiation and finding, the expressive way of life in harmony. And being in that fortitude of love, as it says here, and the undying inspiration of the soul. All right, so the final card here. Now, Chuck Spezzano. Before I flip this card over, these are the healing cards or the conspiracy deck. Chuck Spezzano is a therapist, but as a professional with his PhD, what I have found utterly spectacular about this man's ability is his ability to help others is his access to his higher self and how he brings it all into the psychology of it all. So fair warning, should we get a conspiracy card, I promise to find and relate the positive message through it. So far we've only gotten one. This is the final reading that I'm doing. But given that it is now, walking through your fears, this is now that energy of the new moon in Scorpio. And again, as I say, when we say fears, it's about, acknowledging or looking at where our resistance is. That's what the biggest message of fear is for me. All right, let's see what we get here. Okay, wonderful. And we get the grace of God. It's the grace card. It's the grace card of God. Yeah, this is interesting. So we get the Jesus card and the God card, which is a first for me. So it's so perfect. This is just so interesting. The Chuck Spezzano cards, they're helpful for your transformation, and this is what I'm hearing. It is that access to significant transformation during this time. That's what is on offer. I am going to these are so specific, and there's just so many of them, and I used this is one deck of 3 that I use. So I am going to refer to the book right now. Let's just see. What other messages do I have the book? Yes, here we go. So again, God, Jesus, interesting. God is the beginning and is the end of all that is. The eternal timelessness of love. God is the divine fullness. God as being is the basis of all being. Yet as divine emptiness, God is formlessness or spirit. God is the creator. As God's children, we are extensions of his love and his creativity. Again, there's so much of the love, of the potential for creative action with one's higher self. It is the time to awaken to the love and grace that wants to come to us. It is the time to allow the beauty and truth of God to guide us back home. So if you receive this card, and I'm reading again straight from the book, the God card signals your choice for truth, for knowing yourself as spirit rather than as a body, and for experiencing power and joy rather than disappointment and death. There's that strength and that power. You are being asked to remember that the solution to all your problems, no matter what their form, is God, and that everything that you seek in 1,000 different forms is only and always God. God can meet your every need, heal your every problem, and remind you of your wholeness. So again, substitute God for good orderly direction, for, you can say God, the universe, spirit, your divine self, your global consciousness, the energy, something bigger, the sky, whatever it is that is, bigger and deeper than yourself. And I just want to just take an overview of this and wrap up the reading now. But it's such transformation, it is the ability now to access significant transformation during this time. That's what's on offer right now and available. This is the new moon energy. This is Scorpio's influence. So it's going to bring in the shadow to strengthen the light. So use it. Questions that are coming in right now as I'm looking at all of this. Like the Queen of Cups reversed is reminding you not to compromise your integrity in order to belong or to falsely find your confidence. The Tribe card is saying that if you can access that willingness to be real and to be yourself, stand in thine own self, to thine own self be true, you're going to find your authenticity, and that will lead you to the truest self-expression. The Chariot here is reminding you that you have the ability to attract abundant changes for yourself through graceful choices. Graceful, grace, the grace of the Swan and the grace card of God. Everything will hinge on your perception, though, and the story that you're creating. So from there, you will invite fortunate change and many blessings and abundant, bright future. And I'm just getting two questions right now. Ask yourself, do I recognize and celebrate my emotional truth? Do I recognize my ability to attract and to enhance everything around me that may need also my perspective and my support? So if this reading spoke to you, please connect through the comments and let's hear all about it. Please take a moment to like this video and to subscribe to my channel so that you can be informed of the new uploads. I am just beginning, so as this channel is in its infancy, any suggestions for future readings are really welcome. I have some topics and some interactive ideas in mind, and I'm going to do my best to be consistent in supporting your experience here as well. Also, if you're inclined to, please feel free to share this link or post it or spread the word in order to help build a community here. And with that, many thanks, and I'm wishing you many divine blessings, pure light, and much love during this new moon in Scorpio. Oh, I forgot about our angel card, transformation. What have I been saying this whole time? Transformation. All right, we are complete. That's wonderful. Thank you.